Hello. So, if you saw my last video, you have an idea what emotional baggage is, and you are excited to hear about the emotion code. So the things to remember about emotional baggage is you have it and you don't want it. How do you know if you have it? Well, you might feel stuck. You don't like yourself. That's probably a secret though, so you may or may not be aware of that. You might worry constantly, which could be labeled as anxiety. So it could be all the way to that extreme where you have anxiety, or you could just be like kind of a chronic worrier. You may have depression or a lower level of sadness. That too, there's a range. You might have physical problems specifically, and the doctor is now saying there's nothing, I don't know what to do. Like, we don't know what to do, then there's a really good chance that you have emotional baggage. It can show up as relationship problems, financial problems. That can include having a lot of money and still feeling really like not happy. So there's such a wide range. And I know it kind of sounds like, is there anything that isn't included? And the answer is no, there isn't. Like, emotional baggage is it's not the only thing contributing to every single problem you can imagine, but it's always a factor. And it makes the problem worse the longer you're dragging that around. So let's talk about what is the emotion code. It is a language that is spoken by the subconscious energy in your body, my body, and every human's body has this one language that it speaks. So it doesn't matter any other discerning factor. It does not matter if you're a human being that's alive, you are speaking in this specific language. So think of your subconscious mind as a computer. Okay, you have a subconscious mind. Actually, for a second, let's think of an iceberg. So you have a conscious mind, that's the one that you're aware of and that you make decisions with, and it's the one that you have. Probably heard the idea that humans, we only use 10% of our brains. Well, that's the subconscious mind, or sorry, the conscious mind that's being referred to. And so that's like the tip of the iceberg, right? That's the only part we're aware of. That's the only part we see. And it's just such a tiny fraction of the entire structure. So underneath the water is like way more surface area. That is the subconscious mind, the underneath the water part that you can't see, you're not aware of. So you have a subconscious mind. If you're alive, you have a subconscious mind. And a subconscious mind is not unlike a computer. It's not emotional. It doesn't have an opinion. It's not predictive. It doesn't assume what your result's going to be based on what you've gotten in the past. It's just always in the present moment, and it's very reliable. It's 1,000% reliable. It just is what it is. So imagine this. As complicated as your body is, your subconscious mind only speaks in a binary code. It's either yes or no. And the computer that you're watching, the device that you're watching this video on, it's a form of computer, and it only speaks in a binary code. It's just ones and zeros, ones and zeros. The reason that's really relevant is that it's actually quite simple to learn to speak the language of the subconscious mind, but you just have to learn how to interpret the signals. So it turns out that when your body is asked a question that would be answered with a yes, so just like a one instead of a zero in a binary code, your muscles get stronger. And when you are asked a question that correlates with a zero or a no or a negative answer, your muscles go slightly weaker. So it's not mysterious. It's not like, ooh, it's like legitimate reading of the strength in the muscles. It is quite subtle, so it takes practice to pick it up. But let's see my notes here. So your subconscious mind speaks in a binary code, yes or no. So it turns out it's quite simple to communicate with. Now the emotion code is, now we're back to this emotional baggage. So if you recall, emotional baggage is a trapped energy. It was an emotion that you were given that you didn't know it at the time, but you had the option to fully receive and feel that emotion so that it could go through you and just be on its way, like energy in motion, emotions are supposed to do. But you didn't know that. Fair enough. So instead of experiencing the emotion, you found a way to sort of put it aside, stuff it down, to delay it. And that was really a smart thing to do because nobody wants to feel a really emotion. And so you stored it. And the subconscious mind, meanwhile, is your personal computer that is tracking and reading every single cell in your body. It speaks in binary code, but it is extremely sophisticated. So your subconscious mind is running your body. Okay. It's telling your heart when to beat. It's telling your brain when to send neurological signals to places. It's sending signals back to the brain. It's calling for hormones. It's monitoring every joint. It's telling your body where it is in space. It's very, very sophisticated. So when you choose to trap an energy, it just keeps track of that for you. It knows exactly where every piece of emotional baggage is in your energetic field, in your energetic blueprint. It's sort of helpful to think of your body in its perfect form has a precise blueprint, and you've stuffed emotional baggage into all sorts of places all over your emotional or your energetic blueprint. And the subconscious mind knows where it is. And so the emotion code is a language to speak to the subconscious mind and retrieve the answers from the subconscious mind to help us get clear on which emotional piece of baggage is ready to leave right now. So when I do a session with somebody, I will simply be asking your subconscious mind and listening to its answers through muscle testing. So if I test strong, that's a yes. If I test weak, it's a no. So there's hardly any effort on your part at all. You just have to agree to it. And then you just sit there and I ask your subconscious mind, you don't have to say a word. I ask your subconscious mind to direct me to what emotion is ready to be released in you right now. And when we find that emotion, I simply swipe a magnet over my head. I don't want to explain that right now, but that releases the emotion once it's identified. Yeah, so that's the emotion code. And as I mentioned on the other video, and I've told some of you personally, I have invested in becoming certified in that practice. So part of that is that I have to find 10 voluntary clients to sit through 2 sessions of releasing emotions. And each session we're meant to release between 5 and 10. Most people have hundreds, if not thousands. So yeah, there's lots. There's lots to release. What else? There's lots of testimonials for, like, even though we have thousands, there can be a big significant impact just from one session, one release, which is really exciting. So I have to do it on myself. I've done a few today. When I asked when should I do my follow-up session, my body said, in my subconscious said, in 2 days. So I got a couple days before I can do it to myself again. But in the meantime, I'm ready to start taking volunteers. So I need 10. I have told 2 people already that I will definitely be using them as a volunteer. That's my niece Rayanne and my good friend Melissa. So that's 2 out of the 10 spots. So there's 8 spots left. Please reach out and say you'd like to do one if you would like to. And I'm going to create a link so that you can just book yourself in. I'll create 8 spots in the next few days. They should be 20 minutes. It should be really quick. That's part of the point. Really quick. Oh man, it's super exciting. So yeah, that's the emotion code. There's lots more to it, but as far as like understanding it, to know if you might want to give it a go, I just can't even honestly imagine who wouldn't want to. So if that's you, then by all means get yourself into one of those 8 spots and let's have some fun. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. So I'm very like ahead of time. So grateful to whoever is willing to jump on this journey with me.